There are some new updates in the Brian Laundrie case. Brian Laundrie still hasn't been found yet. However, there's been quite a few updates in the last couple days. First, Gabbys family were in Wyoming. The coroner had released her ashes to them. And Gabby's stepmom, Tara, posted on Twitter with Gabby's mom. And she said 2 moms out at Jenny Lake taking in the beauty of it all. Gabby's dad, Joe Petito, also tweeted, and he said, "I now know why you came here. Hashtag Gabby Petito has a beautiful view from now on. Love you and miss you." And Nicole and Jim were also on camera on 60 Minutes Australia, and here's what they said.
She was beautiful. She was creative, artistic, talented, a genuine person.
Gabby's parents told 60 Minutes Australia the not talking says it all.
I think silence speaks volumes. Because I believe they know probably, if not everything, they know most of the information. I would love to just face-to-face ask, why are you doing this? Just tell me the truth.
Gabby's mom said she almost fell on the ground after being ignored by the Laundries when Gabby first went missing, and learning instead of talking to police, the family obtained a lawyer.
You'd think there'd be some conversations, if Brian was staying at my house and Gabby returned to my house without him in his vehicle, I'd be on their phone with their parents saying, "Listen, we got an issue. We got some stuff we got to talk about, like now. Call me back." That'd be me.
Just want to get him in a cell for the rest of his life.
We want vengeance and him
Justice,
to be and justice, and for him to pay for his crimes and to spend it in a prison for the rest of his life.
Now, the coroner actually has some interesting news as well. The coroner who was involved in Gabby's case says he was forced to resign from the local hospital because he used his own personal computer at work. He actually did a post and he said, "As you all know, this past month has been stressful for a multitude of reasons, including my work on the Petito case and dealing with media, law enforcement on multiple levels, plus a few wackos who have sent emails. Unfortunately, St. John Health had told me I cannot use my personal computer at work, even though other doctors do, plus it is critical for my coroner responsibilities. It does not interfere with my work with patients and other SJH studies. They have essentially forced me to resign effective February 10th due to this prohibition. I am prohibited by contract from saying anything derogatory about the hospital, but you would think with all the recent publicity, they would have been honored to be associated with me. Nothing above is derogatory, it's just factual. I will return to private practice in a limited fashion, but the location is yet to be determined. Pet your dog." Now on Friday, October 15th, police tape was shown at the Carlton Reserve at the Northport entrance, which was said to be the same place that Brian Laundrie's dad, Chris, went on when he was helping search last week. And the officers were seen carrying rifles into that area. And one of the reporters, Allison Henning from WFLA, she reached out to the Northport police and asked about these officers, and it was said that they were training and searching. Now, a retired FBI agent talked about this search, and here's what she had to say about it.
What does this tell you about the search at the Carlton Reserve then? Does the fact that the feds are pursuing leads on the Appalachian Trail make you think that maybe the search is taking a different focus?
Well, what makes me think that they're taking a different focus was the fact that there was a training exercise done by, it looks like, the tactical unit of Northport Police that was conducted. That tells me that they have sort of abandoned their true search efforts there, their grid search, and that they've completed it. And there's nothing left remaining in terms of searching there other than sort of these hodgepodge efforts at best. I think they are concentrating on different leads received from different people to guide them as to where they are looking.
She also says that she thinks Brian will make a mistake and that he will be found and caught. And speaking of Brian, there's been a few sightings. However, one of them was a man on a bike. And the man had facial hair. He was seen wearing a black cap, black jacket, green pants, and was carrying a backpack. And he was struggling to ride this old bike, it was said. And he was riding along a rugged sugar sand path where people rarely venture. And they said that, I did read also that the person who owned the property said it seems to be that person looks like they were hiding out or laying low. Now also there's a lookalike. U.S. Marshals actually arrested a man who looked like Brian Laundrie, or so they said. It was a case of mistaken identity. And the guy was actually hiking with his girlfriend, and they were hiking in the Appalachian Trails. They stayed at a hotel. Now, a few calls started coming in about sightings of Brian Laundrie, and the marshals came in with their guns drawn in the hotel room, and it was reported that they also fingerprinted him on the spot. That's what the report said. And obviously they found out it wasn't Brian Laundrie. Also, the fact that he didn't have the same tattoos. The authorities, though, did suggest that he shave his beard off. Now, Brian has a co-worker who has stepped forward, and he called him a weirdo. This coworker worked with him in 2017 and 2018, and he said Brian worked the sales counter and did other odd jobs. He said, I remember from back then he was a big yoga nut, always telling me I gotta worry about my Zen, and I thought he was this weirdo. He never came across as the kind of person that would be the killing type, but he did have the tendency to be, I don't want to say the wrong thing and make him sound worse than he already is, he was kind of a guy who would get PO'd very quick. He said he didn't see Brian abusive or mean to Gabby, but he said he did appear jealous if he saw Gabby talking to some other guys. He said he would come over and do the boyfriend thing, put his arm around her, give her a kiss, very possessive. Now, we heard that type of behavior also before, particularly with Gabby's ID. She wanted to go out with her girlfriend, and when she got to the bar, they wanted to do line dancing and go have some fun. I believe she said it was ladies' night. And when Gabby got there and she went to get her ID out, it wasn't there. Now, the coworker also said he was a good employee who knew how to talk to people. He knew how to make people like him. He knew how to make people happy. And he knew how to make people buy the product that we had, honest. He had the same kind of air you would be taught if you worked at a dealership. And he said that Gabby would visit 2 or 3 times a week and chat about the road trips she wanted to go on to and her plans to travel. He said Gabby, she was always a sweetheart, very peaceful. She always was really nice to me, and she was really outgoing. Once I realized that the person who was missing was somebody I actually knew, it hit me like a tidal wave. I think the only reason why she settled for him is he wanted to travel. And he said that Brian would talk about wanting to tour the national parks within the country, and that Brian made money on the side by selling drawings. I also recently found out that he made stickers as well. Now, as for their living situation of Gabby and Brian, it was interesting because it was just said by Rose Davis, Gabby's friend. She said she did not live with the Laundrie parents. They had a condo that the parents paid for. So I wonder if that's where Brian actually went to the week of August 17th to 23rd, and not to clean out the storage unit, but actually to clean out their condo. Stay tuned for that. Now let's talk about Brian's dad, Chris. There's been a few things in the news. Now, there was a protester that put a sign on the Laundrie's lawn, and it says, "What if this happened to Cassie?" And Brian's dad came out and ripped it out of the lawn and went back into the house. Now, I find this interesting because we've seen Chris and Roberta very even keel, not answering reporters, just doing their thing. But this triggered him, and rightly so. But he came out and he ripped that out of the lawn and brought it in. So very interesting. I'd be actually interested into seeing what Joe Petito had to say about that. But I think we know. But it's very interesting. Also, he apparently put a Ring camera up. He was seen putting that up. And it's too bad they didn't have that before, when Brian, before he was on the run. So we can get a little bit more details on that. And also they were seen at Walmart earlier today, and today is October 19th. and they went on a little trip to Walmart, was one of them. Now, one of the things that was interesting to me, and I don't want to say amusing, but it is kind of funny, because you could see Chris loading up a bunch of bottled waters, and we know that Brian, or from our understanding, Brian hates plastic, so that was interesting to me. Now, another tweet was out, and it said Chris and Roberta Laundrie were spotted at an AT&T this morning in Sarasota after their trip to neighborhood Walmart, the bank, and a FedEx storefront. And this person says clearly they're helping him. So this is very interesting to me. Quite a few little details. Obviously still no Brian. Hopefully he's going to get caught soon. Some people are speculating that he's in Mexico. Some people think he's out west. Some people still think that he's in the reserve. Some people think, he's in Florida. And some people think he's in Cuba. So there's all kinds of things. Obviously, he needs to get caught, drag him in, bring him in, question him. And as Gabby's parents say, just tell us what happened. So let's have a chit chat below. We'll talk about it. What do you think's going to happen next? Do you think he's going to get caught right away? And what are your thoughts about Chris ripping that sign out of the lawn? I find it interesting. Let me know your thoughts. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please like and please share this out. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.